Emma. Um, Life in lockdown is probably testing everybody's mental health and well-being more than ever right now for different reasons. Some have, well, I think we've talked about the fact that we're all riding the same storm, but everybody is in a different boat right now, and how people's mental health and wellness is really important. And something that you've talked about is the physical and mental wellness through sort of energy. Some people have lots, some people have a little, and some people have none. And I know that's something that you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I think that physical and mental well-being is just something that people put that whole umbrella up there, and it means so much, but the two do go hand in hand. And possibly one of the biggest parts of how someone is feeling, how you're feeling, how we're all feeling right now, the ups, the downs, the ability to handle some things one day and not the other, is about energy. And finding time for things, finding the motivation for things, your mojo, feeling a bit, having a lethargy, having I can't be bothered, not having the wherewithal to do it, just not having the appetite to do it. Even when you need to do them, even when you think, well, I've got the time to do them, even if you haven't got the time to do them, things are just harder than you thought they would be, and you're zapped or sapped of energy. You're feeling quite low and perhaps just not feeling quite yourself, which isn't a nice way to feel. And it's sometimes really hard, depending on who you've got around you, the support network, your personality, to try and get out of that. So we haven't got a bottomless pit of energy. It's not something we can keep drawing on if we're not replenishing it in some way. And it's sapped by money worries, by stress, by job worries, by family worries, by friendship worries. And it can make you feel quite lost and overwhelmed. So we have to make sure that we're not getting swallowed up in too much of other people's stresses. If you're someone who's going to support other people right now, if you're someone whose job is to support other people right now, and I'm not saying it's easy, but we've just got to try and carve out a little time for you. If you're someone who feels zapped of energy, it's a little time for you. You might be thinking, well, I'm on my own all day and I'm isolated. What time have I got for me? So this applies to people who are on their own, but also people who are still running around like headless chickens and have no time. And just try and think about one goal that you want to do in that day. Maybe for that morning, not even for the week, not even for the month. Just break it down to one goal. I'm a massive fan of lists, but those lists have to be achievable. But they also has to be a way for you to implement those lists. So writing a long list actually can be really stressful if you put a load of stuff on there that you've got no way at this moment of being able to do. So it's just one goal. Or if you think you want to put 3, fine. But I wouldn't have any more than 4 as a maximum. And things that are going to make a difference, not just chores, but things that are going to make a difference to you, and things that are going to make a difference to your family and the people around you. Now, ordinarily, that might have been going for a round of golf with your mates, going to the pub, having a manicure, going for a spa day with your girlfriend, having a coffee out, having a bit of cake. So it's not necessarily finding those things that used to lift you, that you used to do in the old world before lockdown. But it's just reevaluating where you can find positivity and happiness for a part of that day, and just evaluate what you want from that morning or that day. Deep breathing and taking a few deep breaths is a good start, and it's about taking time to recharge your batteries. So doing things with doing Zoom calls with friends, doing stuff with your partner if you've got one, your family, your kids. It might make you feel amazing, but if it doesn't quite cut it when it comes to refilling that energy pot, and you're not still sleeping well and you're not eating well, then in a couple of days you'll probably still feel a bit blur and a bit low. So if you know you've got stresses in your life, then it's about trying to understand where those stresses are coming from. That's quite useful. I mean, work worries, money worries, anxiety, they're all really real right now. But it's about not keeping them stoked up and not necessarily harboring them, thinking that we're going to burden somebody else with them, or thinking that actually our worries are insignificant compared to the fact that there are people out there dying or putting their lives at risk. It's real to you, and it's important that you feel you have someone or somebody that you can offload that to, that makes a tiny difference. Right now, the little things are really matter. So it could be you phoning someone, it could be them phoning you, it could be you doing a puzzle, it could be a jigsaw, it could be anything small. It could be if you want to do yourself a face mask, if you want to give yourself a nail varnish. But if you're it may be that you, particularly for men, I think it's difficult, and most of my working life and my job involves women, but I think men have this belief that they're not allowed to show emotion and they've got to keep it in and be strong, and at this time it's not that helpful. Nobody's saying be a blubbering wreck for days and months and weeks, but it is important that you offload too. So one of the things that I think is perhaps a good idea at this moment in time is that we are all very much Zoom this, house party the other, Facebook this, but there are lots of people out there that perhaps aren't automated, or perhaps are on their own, and technology is fearful, or they're fearful of it, or actually it's just something they're going to do. I've got a couple of family members, they haven't got Wi-Fi, they haven't got devices, they've got a phone, but nobody else can actually go into their homes right now to set anything up, even if they wanted to, and it's not their thing. It's really not their thing. So writing a letter. When was the last time you received a letter that wasn't a bill, that wasn't a birthday card, that wasn't because there was a reason? When was the last time you just got something and heard about somebody else's news? I can't actually remember. I used to do loads of writing when I was little, had loads of pen pals. And when was the last time that you wrote to someone? And it's two things going on there. When you write, that person sees your handwriting. It's a sign of your personality. You see stuff through handwriting, and also you know that it's come from the heart. They've taken time, and it's more meaningful often. And it shows what you're thinking, but also you writing it down might be quite cathartic. You being able to offload on a piece of paper. Now, it may be you don't decide to send that letter, but you've managed to release what you're feeling onto paper. That could be the you time. That could be the 15 minutes of your day that you needed for you, that was quite a release, that gives you that's a total change to your normal day, that's a total change to what you would have even considered you time 6 weeks ago. The way we all look at you time is really different. So we've got to think of ways, and I think writing is useful for the person receiving, but also for the person for writing. So it doesn't have to be superficial with material things, but it is about just investing in yourself and reevaluating how you can find contentment whilst feeling isolated. If you genuinely though feel lonely and your energy is at a place where you're just really struggling to wonder how to get out, then please pick up the phone and speak to someone professional, is what I would say. We all need to. Not everybody has somebody, but we probably find we've all got someone that we can write to, and let them know that we're there. Not everybody has that fence to look over and clap on a Thursday for the NHS. There are some people that are genuinely feeling really low. And energy comes from finding something that creates a happiness and a joy that was just for you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. It's all about reaching out. Thank you.